Nice.
Oh, it's going to be a good one. Camera's warming up. All the info's ready. It's popped up. All right. We are back here at the Adventurous Guide to the Galaxy with special guest Daryl Guberman, longtime friend of the show. And we are here today to talk about the Securities and Exchange Commission. Silicon Valley Bank has collapsed. A couple other banks have collapsed. I haven't even looked at my phone because I've been doing memes about it and everything. Craziness is going on. Mayhem. Stocks are dropping. All kinds of people are getting talked about, and most people don't even know who they are, don't know what's going on. So we're going to talk about a little bit about how this is set up in the brief, small history of what we actually are dealing with here. And a lot of people don't necessarily, they can't visualize in their head how all of this stuff is structured. So you have like the FBI, you have the CIA, you have Jeff Bezos, Amazon, you have Pfizer, all these, entities, all these schools, all this stuff. People are like, oh man, the corruption is a. But we're going to talk about the literal circle that they all sit in. This one thing is the board of ANSI and ANAB, and the IAF. This is where they're sitting at deciding all this stuff. Where all these other, Brussels and all these people come in and they're like, oh, this is what America needs to have happen. And all these ring of dirt bags will go out and be like, oh, this is what you want. And they'll try to use that language weapon that we talked about earlier to make you believe that what they want you to have happen to yourself is what you actually believe and it's not. So we're here with Mr. Daryl Guberman. He will explain a little bit about the Securities and Exchange Commission, ANAB, and how it all fits together.
Thank you, Mr. Brighton. I appreciate it. A couple of things that I'd like to talk about to the audience is the factor that I know many have investments in gold and silver, but just think about this. You're going to go back to your investment broker and they're going to say, that's impossible. You can't do it. Of course. And here it goes. The market falls apart. You have no banking system now. Nothing's there. At one time, your piece of gold was, let's say, $2,800 an ounce. You have a 1 troy ounce of silver. It's like $40 an ounce. You go into BJ's. They have no structure. You go into BJ's to buy a 36 roll of toilet paper, give you an example, and the guy behind the desk is going to say, hey, you want the toilet paper? 2 ounces of silver or 1 ounce of gold? Hold on a second. Gold is $2,800. That's what it was when we had some structure. Now I can charge anything I want for it. So any of these people who are saying metals, 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 it's bartering. Yeah, you'll probably be able to get something for it, but not the true value of what you think it is. And that's the issue. Now, another item is this, the Securities and Exchange Commission. The Security and Exchange Commission, along with the FTC and FBI and DOJ and DOD, all sit on ANSI's board. The thing that really makes this bad, Brighton, is this, is that they're all involved incestuously. Collusion, interlocking directorates. They sit on everybody else's boards and all the rest of the stuff, sucking on their cigars, playing their golf, and toying around with people's savings and all the rest of that mess. The thing that people have to understand, too, is that when you have issues like this, you have to go to who is responsible. Who is the underwriter for this mess? And after much study, much looking into it, you have the underwriter, which is ANSI and ANAP. ANSI and ANAP are underwriters for the International Accreditation Forum, which was run by Communist China from 2015 to 21. You have the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation, which is in Australia. The IF is incorporated in Delaware. Now, the Chinese national, who was there between 2015 and 2021, had been involved with our quality, Brighton, since 1994. And you being in the military know how, you have to have security, cyber security with a lot of this mess. And by this Chinese national being involved with the IF, there is no security because he is mandated by the China National Intelligence Intelligence Law number 7, which mandates espionage, which is a bad thing. So you have all of this mess, and you have, it's a conflict of interest when you have all of these federal agencies sitting on ANSI's board. And the liability, because they're underwriters, if you have a failure on the field, your gun jams, and, you have a failure with that rifle, no, ANSI, ANAB are not responsible for that rifle manufacturer, but they're responsible for the quality of that rifle because their usual statement is we certify the system, we don't certify the product. By them being an underwriter, they certify the product too. And nobody is getting that through their head. Nobody has contacted me from ANSI or ANEP concerning this mess because they won't do it. And you know what they say? Silence is not a good thing. Silence is guilt. Go ahead, Brian.
Yes, and also they say if there's a very serious thing going on right in front of you, and you're involved, and you like kind of like the whole, Pfizer and all these other companies, a lot of them sit on ANSI. Silence is consent. You're like, oh man, all these people are about to get pushed into this river, this boiling water. They just turn away and like, and then it happens. There you go. Silence is consent. So now we have the Silicon Valley Bank collapsing. All of these people, like I said, here's one half of all the people FBI and all these corruptions. Here's the other half, all these bankers and stuff. They're on the Security Exchange Commission. All those same people are hanging out, and they just got away with all of your money. And now they shut down their Twitter account, and now here they are. Remember, China also controls the internet because they handed it over them in 2015. They handed over the Chinese national to control the internet, so they can do all this, crazy stuff, and they can do all this stuff. They can have insider information, all these things. But if you even have that, then you're evil, you're bad, you're all this stuff. So this is the actual structure of these people, like the faceless, like business people, men and women. This is who they are. They're not scary. They're not like, oh, it's just a bunch of bums. I guess they just got the hookup, and here they are ruining everything. They had the chance to do well.
Do you know what, though, Bright? It's not even that. We can go to our Congress and Senate, both Democrats and Republicans. What happens is this. Here goes another component that I want your audience to listen to. You have and this is only one part of it. You can go to opensecrets.org and get all the politicians who they're getting paid. I call it bribe. Because remember, it says for the people and by the people. That's what we do when we go into the polling booth in November. We hope that those people, and I hate to use hope, wish, prayers, or luck because it's determination all the way. But we go in there wishing or hoping that the person that we elect is going to do something for us. We, the people, elect Democrats and Republicans. What happens is that once they take $1,000 from Lockheed Martin or $200 from Boeing or $300 from another company, Lockheed has the Lockheed disbursements. Go look at it. Look up Lockheed disbursements 2021, and it'll give you all 50 states, Democrats and Republicans, all getting bribed by Lockheed Martin. What this means is once they accept money from Lockheed, then we, the people, are out of commission. They have to dissolve it and get rid of those political figures who are taking money from these organizations, because something, people have been yelling this for decades. It's about time that we, the people, stand up and do something rather than not. Because something? Because this is basically what we, the people, have turned into because of the COVID shot. They bent down, took it in the ass, and that's it. And that's a problem.
And so now the same type of thing is happening with the tech sector. Now, it was in 2008, it was a housing market collapse and mortgages and all that stuff. It's the same thing now, but it's with tech jobs because they overinflated all this stuff. And now when people are trying to figure out what's going on, all the banks are collapsing, everything's going away. But all these people, they're all, like I said, they're all friends are at the top. They'll put in somebody and says, oh, I'm, of this skin color, of this religion. Oh, I'm not like those other people. And then that same person just ran away with all the money. Silicon Valley Bank, there's the Massachusetts branches are breaking down, and it's all happening at once, and people are not able to understand how can they do this? Right. How can they literally do this to us? And that's why that's why we have a channel, we have a lane. They just leave us this huge lane. We can drive trucks through it because we're just like, hey, this is happening.
Do you know what I think they're really doing? I think it could be our government, could be anything. You can have all kinds of hypotheses. But I think what they really want to do is get everybody into this electronic currency. And this is why these banks are failing. Once these banks more and more fail like this, I don't think that we're going to be able to turn over so swiftly to this currency, whether it's crypto, whatever. I don't think we're going to have that's going to end up to be a depression. And I don't think that it's going to be one of those ones that we really come out of quickly, because they're going to have to do the transition. They're going to have to do all this stuff, and I don't think that we've got that. We got the corner of the market.
No.
I think it's problematic. My personal feeling is I think our government in general, maybe our government along with China and Russia, figure in order to control people, let's get them on this cryptocurrency. I don't trust us. I don't trust Biden. I don't trust Xi Jinping. I don't trust Putin. They all sit down probably and have champagne along with Zelensky laughing about this mess. I know people may disagree with that, but my mom always said, if you can think it, it can be true. And I really do feel that, Biden had his dealings with China. In fact, in one of his interviews, he said, China's going to eat you for lunch. Well, with a president like that, of course he's going to eat us for lunch, because he's been in bed with China, just like most of our politicians. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that this is more trying to tailor us to cryptocurrency, shoving it down our throat no matter what, having bank failures. They're saying, what are we going to do? In fact, I heard on the news that Silicon Valley did open up their branches for short hours to either withdraw money, put money in. But yeah, I think Silicon Valley is the product of almost another 2008. The housing market failed, shook up the economy. Now it's the tech sector that's doing the same thing as 2008. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, and it also feel like, number one, when you said that Biden said that, told China, oh, China's going to eat you for lunch. Well, Biden was the forceful piece of bread that came and scooped us up and said, eat me now. Like, I don't want to be eaten. Get away from me. And second of all, they are actually all hanging out and sipping cigars and having one giant fish bowl that they're all sipping the straws out of one giant alcoholic beverage, because China, the president of China, Xi Jinping, just got his third term, right? He just had a phone call.
You know what we should call him? The king of China.
Yeah, the king of the Middle Kingdom.
Can I tell you a mathematical equation that they whisper in the halls of Wharton School of Business down in Pennsylvania? They go like this: communism plus capitalism equals cash. Because it equals cash, everything else is forgotten. And remember what Khrushchev said in the 50s? Somebody they probably don't. He said that the American people will raise the communist red flag all by themselves. And you can see that. You can see that in our country now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what people don't understand is, like, it's a big club and you ain't in it, as George Carlin would say, because Xi Jinping just called Zelensky over in Ukraine and says, hey, we need to do some kind of deal where we end this whole war and stuff. Yeah, let's do a deal. And then Zelensky also was with the UN and was like, oh, the war has escalated our plans to have digital tracking of all Ukrainians because people are trying to leave and not fight. So we need to track them. And then when the Russians come in, something special, blah, blah, blah. We need to track and see who's who. So yeah, this is why I need digital currency. And they're bombed and depleted. So anybody who comes in, like BlackRock or Vanguard, to rebuild everything because they just got a deal, then they're going to do it in the image of what they want. But see, here in the West, and like the United States and England, I think those are going to be the two places that are going to have the most problems, because those are probably the physically largest and the most alcohol consuming people that don't take back talk very well. So that's gonna make their problems a little harder, because in some parts of England or Scotland, I don't remember which one, this guy woke up, he's like, look at this, because he talks about how they're going to try to force the digital currency and make people like, oh, you farted wrong, your money is turned off, and they'll turn your money off. He went around to 12 ATMs in his town, and the next day they were all gone. Like, it was a store, one was just papered over with like a poster, and they pulled the poster back, there's no ATM. They don't want cash. They want the crypto with no cash, right? And so here in America, I've done some research and looking. They have like a couple new dollar bill designs and stuff, but I just don't think it's going to work, because they're going to say, oh, we're going to have a cashless society. First of all, the first thing I thought of is, okay, first of all, strip clubs. You can't go to a strip club with slide a credit card in the lady's backside. It's probably going to get you slapped. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put change in there. Don't do that either. So that's not going to work. I guess, I mean, they sit there. I stand for illegal immigrants, but I'm like, you can't pay people under the table anymore, so you don't stand for illegal immigrants. I mean, fuck, you know what I mean? These people are out of their minds, like.
And that's the way it's going to be. I think, Bright, I think a part 2 to this mess, maybe we can do that and let the people digest what we already have done. And
Yes, let's do
I
that for
appreciate you
sure.
having me here. I've got to go to a meeting. I've got a meeting on the cell phone. So,
Yeah, no worries. Me
and
too. Yeah.
what I will do is thank you very much. But my feeling truly is that they want to get us all on crypto as fast as possible, so that this way the government will keep track of us. And if you don't pay your $5,000 to the IRS, they will extract it automatically from your account. It's that easy.
Oh yeah, it's even easier
And
than that.
I have friends of mine who have the wallet and who have this Bitcoin, this, and he said, Daryl, I try to access my account. I can't withdraw the money because you have to convert it to another one in order for you to get it there. It's a very hard process, and I don't think,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has really put any thought into this. They have, but it's not going to be instantaneous application. That's the problem.
Yeah. And so, and to prepare for this, just like we were talking earlier with the gold and the silver and it not being worth anything, that's why I have plants in my backyard and I can eat them because they've grown to a certain size. That's worth something because they seem to want to collapse everything. And they're also saying that with the new crypto thing, they're trying to register the plants in your yard to make sure you're not growing any food to try to escape us. They're talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. We'll get into it the next time. Um, Self-driving cars, but you obviously know what that turned into. Cars that Ford just put out a patent that says if you don't pay your bill, the car will turn on and leave your house and repossess itself with nobody in it. So, so that's where we're going, folks. All the fun you could ever want to have. We're here at the Adventures Guide to the Galaxy and at
Thank
Daryl
you.
Goodman. His name is channel. We will be back. We just did a couple videos. They should be up today, tonight, and I have more videos planned. Daryl's got more videos planned. We got a meetup. We got lawsuits. We got people's butts to kick. It is going to be a lot of fun this year and next year, and we're going on forever. Thank you for joining us, and we will be back. Definitely check out the links in the description. And Daryl, please let them know where to find you.
Yes, you can find me. You can email me at Daryl, DARYLTQRS at yahoo.com, or you can call me direct anytime, 203-556-1493. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks a lot, Bright. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.